Right, Bully, time to welcome another guest, and I'd like to call him a mate from back in the day, Soccer AM, and you know him and you met him loads of times. Last time I saw him was at Reading Festival, and I looked round and was like, Kevin and Perry on Harry Enfield when he comes back from Manchester and he comes in the house. I was chatting away to someone and I looked over and I saw these three lads coming over, bucket hats on, like as if the Fool's Gold music was on. I was like, all right, I'm in the area. And I looked over, it's him, it's Bridgie, Joe Cole, and our guest today, Carlton Cole.
Yes,
welcome. How are you?
How are you, mate?
Brilliant.
How are you?
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. So that day you were dressed as a mank, and today you've come dressed as someone from it is Peaky Blinders / Untouchables, which was the film with it was the star of Untouchables, Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner, I love that.
You look like it. What's the script then? Where you going?
Kevin Costner.
Where you going dressed like this?
I'm going to Cheltenham. Yeah.
The races, yeah?
I'm going to the races, mate.
Oh, racing.
I went last year.
Yeah.
Got the bug. Going again this year.
Like a little punt, yeah?
Not really, no.
Just go there for the day out.
Just for the crack,
day out, get invited, get to go in the boxes. Obviously, got Bet365. That's am I allowed to say that on here?
Yeah.
Say what you want.
They've invited me with Adam Cattrall. My co-host on TalkSport.
Yeah, he's brilliantly.
Sports Bar. So
Just going back to the get up. Can you talk us through the?
Yeah. So, as you know, we were just talking about Wayne Bridge earlier, obviously in the intro. Wayne Bridge has got a little bit of cash, should I say, in this
equity, has he?
Yeah, some shares in the Percival brand.
All right.
Percival doing really big numbers at the moment. Yeah, Percival.
So they look after the whole pod,
they look after the pod.
They got a clobber brand, man.
So we obviously
they've done it the right way.
Oh, mate, they're not messing about.
They had a plan.
Yeah, so we got obviously Percival. That's Wayne Bridge is heavily involved with, and when you look at Joe Cole's get up, sometimes he's needed help for quite a while, isn't it? So he's needed this. He's needed this free gear that we're getting at the moment.
So we going back to Reading. So we were at Reading and we were sat round and we were having a drink, and then and there was you three, and I said, right, and I went, you should do a podcast. I went, you should do a podcast, right?
Yeah.
And then here we go.
2
weeks later.
Yeah. You spoke it to existence. You spoke it into existence.
I manifested it.
Manifested it for me.
Yeah.
And the lads.
Maybe I can manifest some sponsors for ours.
I've seen it. You enjoying it?
Oh, it's great.
Mate, imagine like three mates just rocking up on a Monday.
There's only two of
us.
You know
how it goes, but just rocking up on a Monday.
Is that when you do it, Monday?
You do it on a Monday in Marylebone.
Yeah.
And just having a laugh.
Yeah.
Really. And
it's
just
great.
And
love it.
You go through the topics, don't you? You go through the topics of the weekly nonsense that's gone on in football. That's what I call it nowadays.
Yeah.
And you just talk about that, but you kind of add your little 2 pence in it. Most of it's always wrong. But
it's off in a direction you don't know.
But who cares now? You go into a different direction, wherever you want to go into. And listen, Bridgie, it's actually helped Bridgie with football because he never used to watch it.
Nah.
Now he's had to get into it now. Like, because you can't just come on the pod and say, because we did say at the start, the beauty of it is that you don't know anything about football. It's quite funny.
Yeah.
But that kind of wears off for a little while. After a little while, then Bridgie's actually doing his research.
Switch his brain in.
I think ultimately, like podcasts, if you've got the chemistry, if you've got chemistry with people, then it's like
direction don't
they
matter.
can be talking about pretty much.
Thank God you said that.
I know. I don't think anyone really minds, but it's but it's just a really great combo, and the fact that you are all proper mates, is great as a
well, not
as
a lot
a viewer
of people
as well.
knew that we're proper mates.
Well,
no. I was going to ask that. Have you been mega tight since Chelsea days?
Since Chelsea, then obviously West Ham as well.
Yeah.
Was that West Ham? Wayne Bridge.
Bridgie weren't at West Ham, was
Yes, he was. He was on the year we got relegated. He never talks about it. He'll never talk about it. We got relegated, and he'll go cool. I was there, but I weren't there.
Oh right, okay. But was he?
Coley as well was there, but we weren't in the squad. All three of us weren't in the West Ham squads together at one stage.
Ya. Okay.
It was overlapped, but I was there throughout. Do you know what I mean? So they came and met me there. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, we was all together at Chelsea together, and then we remained friends. Sean Wright Phillips as well.
Yeah.
We're all tight together.
Right, he's lovely, isn't he?
Lovely guy. Has he been on yet?
No, not Ed Wrighty on, no, but I know Sean really well. Love him to come on. Talk us about your other gigs you do. Talk Sport you mentioned.
Oh yeah.
How's that going? Go on. What's your role there?
Talk Sport's been going well. Look, with the media stuff, I wasn't into the media, as you know.
So I remember when you first finished, I had a chat with you. Do you remember when you first come on Soccer AM?
Oh, yeah.
You phoned me up.
So I didn't know what to do.
Yeah. I remember that.
I didn't know what to do because, like, how's the media stuff going? Like, how does it work? And, like, is it for me or do I do the football? Do you know? So I said, you know what? Let me just see how it goes. I glide with it, and that's what I'm laid back anyway. And the media stuff was. Dude, I was going well with it for a little while, and
I think pods have just been massively helpful because what they've done is they've sort of deconstructed the media side of it, because it's like if we were on telly now, right, we'd be a bit more like, oh man, it's but now I think you do. Now, if I ever get another job in telly, you know, and hopefully one day I will do, manifest that job.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
Without, when
you say things, it does come to fruition.
But I'd be a lot more relaxed now, a lot more comfortable, and it's like because it's kind of like it's real, and I think pods have allowed people to be a lot more real in that environment, and then when they go and do TV, they take that onto the TV as well. So I think they've been great in that.
I agree with you. Like when you go into that world at the start of it, it's all like bish bash bosh. Got to make the timeline.
Yeah.
All right, you got to stop talking now, and then like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I get it because it's for TV, but because you're right with the pods. Now you could just be more relaxed. You can be yourself. You can take your time with a story. You don't have to be tripping over your words and then overdoing it sometimes. And you're not actually showing your real self.
No, that's it.
And people know you're bullshitting, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah, where does radio sit with that? Is radio in the middle of them two?
So with radio, I've done the TalkSport. I got invited on first time I got invited on. I was terrible. I was so nervous.
Was ya?
Yeah, I was actually more nervous than doing TV, because everything's homed into your voice.
You
can't do all of that and then make everybody laugh. No one's seeing you. So it's everything what you're saying. People hold gospel. So I'm like, oh mate. So I had all of those thoughts going through my mind. So I'd done the first one and I was like, oh, this might not be my thing.
Yeah.
And then I didn't get a phone call for quite a while.
And you was thinking, balls that one up?
Yeah, I was like, I messed that one up because I did say something wrong on there.
Okay.
I was like, oh yeah, I remember what I said. I'll say it. I said, it was about me, Darren Bent, and somebody else, and was talking, and they were saying, listen, don't say anything stupid. You know how it goes. But then we was talking about something quite funny, and then I'll say it was all about dancing. It was about dancing and just getting in the mood with things and that. And then I was like, oh yeah, I'd really love to grind on her.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't really say that type of thing. Grind. But I was thinking slow grind, slow grind. Like, it was a dance, like go Jamaica. They slow grind all the time. But but if you don't know about slow grinding, then there's a problem there. So it's just like you're just it's a big curve, just grinding on people. So that's where I went wrong with that. So I didn't get a phone call for a little while, and then I was doing the West Ham stuff. I was doing like the ambassador stuff. I was doing open mic talking. I was practicing.
Yeah.
Then we done like some content. I was doing loads of content for West Ham, and I was getting better and better, getting more involved in front of the camera, and then that kind of grew. Then I got a call back from Warren Houghton, who was my agent at the time.
Oh, Warren, yeah.
And he says, listen, they want to have a go at you. Like, do you want to go back onto TalkSport? And I was like,
you want to grind FM?
Cheese me, baby.
So I said in my head, I was like, just take the grind stuff out of your mind, and then crack on. So I done it, and it was at a period actually when no one wanted to go on radio because you know why it was? No one could leave their houses at the time.
Right.
So it was the pandemic.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, so I live like from East Croydon to London Bridge, it's like 25 minutes on the train. Right. So I just get to East Croydon. I said, I'll come in. So I was doing it. I was doing a morning show with Laura Woods.
Okay, Woods.
At least once a week.
Good for you though.
Yeah, no one else was able to come in. Took advantage of that little gap.
Yeah,
and then bosh, I was in.
Yeah.
And then I became reliable.
Yeah.
You know? And then I was one of the lads over there, so it was good for me.
It's that confidence, isn't it?
Yeah, once you do it, it's same as football. You're nervous your first games. Once it becomes a thing, you get used to it, don't you?
Yeah.
I suppose, you know what I mean? I want to mention West Ham because they've looked after you. A good football club looking after. Not every football club's like that. I like to talk to players like that. They've looked after you. They've looked after Ginge as well.
Yeah.
Who else they got up? Nobes is up upstairs.
Mark Noble.
How good is that for you?
Yeah, it's been brilliant, man. Like obviously when I finish, you know when you finish, you need to have a routine.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to do with myself, as I was saying. I was going media. Do I do football? Do I coach? I don't know what to do. But then I said, you know what? I'm going to do everything I can, and then see where I land.
Yeah.
So I started the coaching. I started my badges. West Ham called me in, said, listen, we want you to do mentoring for the club. So I started doing that, and then I said, getting the bug to do a bit of coaching, because when you're out on the grass, you're just kind of like, you're seeing so much mistakes. You're just thinking, I really want to help these kids.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what, let me go and do my badges. So do you know what? The chairman put money down for me to go and do my badges. He goes, go and do your badges.
Really?
Yeah, because I wouldn't have done it myself.
No, you needed a bit of coaching.
I needed a bit of a kick up your backside to do it. And I was like, okay. So I've gone in, I started doing my badges. As I'm doing it, I'm coaching the kids.
How did you find doing your badges?
It was really good, really interesting. Yeah. It was like stripping all the layers back from what I'd learned. I was just a baby again. And just trying to, because remember, when you're doing your badges, you've got to learn how to communicate. Yeah. And that's kind of helped me in media as well, how to speak in front of people and speak my truth basically on how I see the game.
Yeah. And
that was a massive learning curve for me as well. And I really appreciated my time doing the coaching. Yeah. And I've done that for 3 years. So I got in, I was doing the under-16s. I had Gerard Penderville. In this time, doing the under-16s, there was a gap in there where we had some good talent. Got some young boys that's breaking into the teams now. Lewis Orford, we've got Gideon Kadua. I coached all of these boys. Like, not saying that they've learned anything from me, but I had a chance. Of course they will have. Then you had you got Ollie Scarles as well in that team as well. That's just started yesterday. That's playing under Graham Potter, and we've got more George Earthy. You've got Freddie Potts. So you got. Wow. I've got a good relationship with these boys. That's my batch of boys that I felt connected to.
You must be well proud when
when I see them. So when I see them running onto the pitch, I'm like, I've had a little bit of part of that. You know, not saying it's just solely me. Obviously, it's everyone else, but I just feel really connected to these boys because I really want them to see them flourish in that. So that's lovely to see as well. And then I kind of came, because I was doing so much with some media as well. I was doing the TV as well with Joe Cole. Was doing at the time BT Sport, and at that period, you had West Ham doing really well in Europe.
You was doing a load of the West Ham.
So I was basically a West Ham fan. On TV. It was nonsense. Yeah.
How was that?
But it was amazing. I went all the way. So we went the first year, second year, and then in the third year we went all the way to the final in Europe, and we won it. And I was like, that was unbelievable. Like, it was the journey was crazy. I didn't even think I was doing punditry at a final. Yeah. Like, that's what pundits dream of, man.
Of course, mate.
And I was there doing it, and I was like, what am I doing it?
Was you in the celebrations as well? A few of you ended up in the celebrations, didn't you?
I was in the celebration. I wasn't even working.
Yeah.
It wasn't working. I was just I was getting in the crowd. I was doing everything but doing my job.
It's nice when you have to sling an invoice in for that, isn't it? Yeah. Right, here you go, sling that in. That's lovely.
It was such a brilliant time, man, and that's gonna stick out for me. Like, And you know when you have to look back in your life and you think, yeah, that was a standout moment for me.
So we are a football club, FC Bullard.
Yeah.
So we are kind of interviewing you for a role at the club. Now, we don't know what that role is, so we should probably have a little chat about
I'm loans
the
manager
sort of
at West
things
Ham. I'm loans manager.
Right.
So anyone that you want out, I could get them out. I've got the connections.
I love it.
Yeah, put them on loan.
I love it.
Yeah.
I could be the loans manager.
Yeah, what's that called? A loanee? What's it called? What's your title at West Ham?
Loans and pathway manager.
Loans and pathway manager. All right.
Do we need a loans and pathway manager at FC Bullard?
What does it entail?
Yeah, what does it entail? Go on.
All right, so basically, you see the lads that I was told, they were the FA Cup Youth, the FA Youth Cup winning club side, right? They beat Arsenal in the final a couple of years back. Some of those boys, so we had David Moyes as a gaffer, and since then, and we've had Lopetegui as well. The chances of these boys getting their chances in the Premier League was going to be quite hard whilst they was at the helm, because their role wasn't really to bring in the youth, or they hadn't been instructed to, or they're not known for working with youth players. The elite ones, because I know that David Moyes had brought in Wayne Rooney. He gave him his debut, didn't he? But the others that we think highly of, we wanted them to get first team action and get the experience. So we'd never had a massive loans system at the club. I think Paul Konchesky was doing it before, but he wasn't doing it full time kind of thing, and he was doing it and he was coaching at the same time. So it was kind of a wishy-washy role. Now, when you get audited at a football club, all these roles must be, especially if you've got players that are looking to go out on loan, must be occupied. So I got asked, because I was coming away from the grass. I was like, not really, because my knee was hurting. Every time I was going out, my knee, I was just losing the faith. And if you're going to be a coach, where was the end game for me? I didn't want to be a manager. I figured that out about a couple of years into it. So like, do I really want to be a manager? Do I actually want to do it? Do I want to be on the side? I can't see it. No. Just can't see it. But what I can see is probably me being a director of football somewhere, or a technical director somewhere, lower leagues, and then working my way up and creating something special. Or what's the pathway for that? So I spoke to the FA. FA said, listen, if you're going to be getting offered the loans manager role, it will tie into what you want to do in the future. Say 5-10 years from now, you don't know. Because what you do, you get all these connections, you go to different clubs, you actually create a pathway for the players that are not getting first team football. You say, okay, where is the best place for these boys to go? So I've got a team behind me to give me help. Right. And you work with agents as well. Agents are a big part of it. Yeah. You've just got to be a people's person to do this role. You've got to be able to be invited to football clubs, see how the boys are doing, make sure that they're going to the right club. I use data to try and mirror up what's the best club for our type of players. We never used to. We just used to shoot blindly, basically. Go, if you don't make it in there, you don't make it. There's something wrong with it.
Yeah.
And that's not fair.
No.
I went out on loan. I think there was no thought process behind it.
Where did you go?
I went to Wolves.
Yeah.
I went to Aston Villa, Charlton.
Right.
From Chelsea.
And that was probably because somebody at the clubs knew someone at the clubs, and it was like,
the club just said, we'd fancy him.
Yeah. Or the manager knew the manager, right? Or do me a favour.
Yeah, something like that.
It's more about connections rather than data.
So you don't know what's going on behind the scene as a player. You don't know how you got there. You just go. So I just felt that we do it in this way, then it's actually a planned pathway for the boys to get first team football. And then they come back, and you're adding value to them, by the way. So if they go out at 1 million, they come back at 1.5 million because they've played 30 games, 40 games in the league. Yeah. Then you've added value to it. Yeah. So it's actually adding value to the club's roster. So when I look at it, I thought, wow, this is actually an important role.
Yeah, big role for you.
It's a big role.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but I didn't see it at the time. I was like,
really?
Yeah, but I've actually grown into it now. Now I understand, mate, this is actually a role that is good. I get to work with, obviously, Mark Noble, because Nobes is he's overseeing the academy at the moment. And then you get to work with, obviously, Kenny Brown, got Kev Keane, really experienced.
Kenny Brown there, yeah.
Kenny Brown,
he was there when I was there. He used to come and do a bit of training.
Yeah,
West Ham legend,
yeah. And then obviously Steve Potts is there. You've got Mark Robson, that's the under 21 manager.
They players well at West Ham, don't they?
Yeah. So we've got loads of players. We've got Zavon Hines at the club. We've got
Marlon Airwood doing there.
Marlon's doing an ambassador role.
Yeah, I phoned him up with some tickets the other day. He goes, "No problem, Jimbo. Like sweeters and that."
Yeah, mate. Yeah. Listen, we've got a nice system at West Ham where everyone's getting looked after. If you really want to go into a role, Anton Ferdinand's there now. If you really want to go into a role, we'll try and find something for you. But if it's occupied, it's occupied, isn't it? But so with this scenario, with what I'm doing, I get a lot of satisfaction out of it. So I get to go. I'm never really at West Ham games. On a Saturday, I go and watch the players that I've put out on loan here, there, and everywhere. And it just makes me. This gives me a sense
of lovely life out for yourself, Cole, ain't you?
When you talked about the working with the young players there, I just want to go back to when you started out and you kind of burst on the scene. At what point did you realise I'm going to make it? Or was it a gradual thing?
Nah, I just don't think. Me still to this day, I don't think I ever made it.
Really?
That's really interesting.
The reason why I say that is because, I went on to play for England.
That's making it.
Yeah.
I would say.
But that's not. It wasn't a moment like to say I've made it.
No.
Because I always felt inferior.
Yeah,
right.
Do
you know what I mean? Like, it's not. Is it imposter syndrome?
He's always chasing.
Yeah, there's always someone better than me. It's always someone that it's until I'm better than everyone. That's when I think I've made it.
Wow.
And that's how I live my life to this day. So I'll never ever stop grinding.
He's in practice. That's it. That's it. His reaction was
I knew when I was landing, it was landing. It was landing, mate. I knew I conquered it.
So see you at Cheltenham, right?
Sorry, I just want to say, so it's interesting that because you said something before about, you were coaching your players and they probably didn't learn anything from me, and you just threw it as a bit of a flippant comment. But it's like, did you suffer from that then, in terms of like that imposter syndrome?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, like not found out. I always knew I was good.
Yeah,
but I'd never felt I'd proven myself to show that I belong there. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was always in that state of mind where I just felt everyone's better than me, and I've got to do more than him, and I've got to keep on getting better and better, because otherwise, if I don't, then everyone's going to leave me behind, and it's going to be a massive embarrassment, not just for me, but to my family. And I've always had that fear just keep on going.
Like fear of failure almost.
Fear of failure. Yeah. That's why I've never said I've made it. I don't think I ever said I've made it. Like, I don't think the penny ever dropped to say that you made it. But yeah, you've done more than most people that could ever dream of doing, but that doesn't mean that I'm satisfied with that and content. I'm happy with it. Don't get me wrong, that I've come this far, but for me, this is another stage of my life now where I'm going, and I'm still doing what I want to do to make sure that I get to the next level.
So you were never, you never kind of let yourself get carried away, or you get ahead of it.
I did. I got carried away because you're around mates that make you get carried away. Like, but when you sit at home on your own and you think, should I have done that? I've not got to where I want to get to yet. Why did I do that? Why am I going out drinking with my pals? Why am I doing that? I've got training the next day. You start thinking all these things in your head, and these are the demons you got to deal with on a day-to-day basis. Because you got to if you don't question yourself, how are you supposed to improve? Like, and who's telling you that you're not good enough when everyone else is saying you are, but you're thinking you don't believe it? It matters what's going on in your head.
Yeah. So did you have anyone that you could kind of like confide in then at that time to say, this is how I'm feeling about this, and for someone to give you that little bit of, no, actually you are a really excellent footballer and you deserve to be where you are?
Well, I had my uncle. That's the only person I've really probably listened to in that format, because he's the one that guided me to get to that point where I was in someone's first team. I wasn't really looking at it as in I was out there looking for help and looking for approval from anybody. No. I was just trying to do better all the time, and I really felt that was my vision. That was my goal, to be better than I was yesterday, and whether it rubbed up some people the wrong way or look, I'm too relaxed sometimes, and that's the problem. And I felt that I was as well. And I felt that I needed to I needed to kick up the backside. So whenever I did get a kick up the backside, I responded well. Right. That's why I was good with managers like Sam Allardyce. And I was good with managers also that could put an arm around me as well. So I was always looking for reassurance from my gaffers. That's all it was.
I think it's big, that. We just spoke to Charlie Austin about that. It's lovely when you get a reassurance from your manager. I think it takes you to can take you to a different place. Did you ever struggle with confidence as well? Well, not really.
As in off the field or
on the field, as in being a football player.
Of course, like as a striker and you're not scoring goals or you're not known for scoring loads of goals. Because remember, I wasn't a natural goal scorer. I was always one of those, the pass before the pass, or I flicked it on, or I always put myself about, and so the other guy can get released and he scored the goals. So when I did finally get given the number 9 shirt at West Ham, then I felt the pressure. I was like, oh, hold on a minute.
I'm that one now.
I am that guy now. Like, I've got to come up trumps. We had Dean Ashton down, and we'd had some good strikers at the West Ham.
Yeah.
Dean Ashton went down because he got injured badly. Then we had the strikers before me, Marlon Harewood. You had Bobby Zamora, all done well. And so it was my turn to step up to the plate. And I knew if I got game time, and because I knew my ratio was always probably about 1 in 3, 1 in 4. I just needed game time, but I wouldn't be able to do that if I was always coming drips and drabs off the bench. Right. So I just needed that. But then I knew as well that fans would judge me because I wasn't scoring every week at will, you know? And at a team like West Ham, that was kind of hard to do because we didn't get the chances and you had to be quite kind of an opportunist. So if you wasn't scoring like on a weekly basis, you get judged for that.
Yeah, and I've always struggled with that. Because I watch players who like put in brilliant performances and do incredible amounts for the team, and that's the thing with the striker, innit? You generally, if you know, you're getting judged on how many goals he scored. Well, we won 2-0. He was man of the match, but he didn't score. So I'm going to judge him on the fact he didn't score, regardless of his performance. I think it's a bit harsh. It
is harsh, but that's the reality of football. It's a numbers game, and I get it. So my son, I've got a striker as a son now, and he gets goals galore. Yeah. I just said, just get in the box, mate. So do all the nice stuff outside the box and connect the game like you should, because he's my type of player. And then, but just make sure you get on there, you sniff out get that early in your game, because I didn't have that, because I was actually a centre midfielder when I came through at Chelsea.
Right.
I started, that's how I got scouted. I got scouted as a centre midfielder.
Wow.
It's only Jim Duffy that changed me into a striker, and Steve Clark believed in me.
Big change though from midfielder to striker.
Yeah, well, I went centre back, then I went to. So I was actually, I'd say I was a footballer.
Yeah.
So I was a footballer. They didn't really know where to put me. I always speak to Ted Dell, who was down at the FA, one of the educators, and he was one of our coaches at the time at Chelsea, and he says we knew that you was a good footballer, but we didn't know where to play you. And that was the story of my life. So when I went up front, I did score a bag of goals, don't get me wrong. But then when you go up the levels, those goals kind of decrease.
Yeah.
And then you have to change your game. And then I got an injury as well, so I had to change into a target man because I couldn't do the running, doing the channels that I wanted to do as well. So I had to change my game quite a lot. And I did become a provider for a little while, or a decoy. So I'll attract 2 or 3 defenders on me, or 2 defenders, and it would create space for others.
Was you there with Teddy?
Yeah, so Teddy was there as well.
Must be a great learning curve.
So when I first went into West Ham, we had Teddy Sheringham, Dean Ashton up front, Marlon Harewood, Bobby Zamora, then myself.
Wow, serious.
Wait, and then after, just before the window closes, we signed Carlos Tevez.
I was going to say, I just spent a week with him. What a lad, by the way.
And mate, he's unbelievable, isn't he? Yeah, he's a great lad, isn't he? He's a great lad. Did he speak English yet?
Yeah, a little bit. He's one of them. He withdraws, pulls a bit back. He was saying, "I'll go hang on a minute. You got more in your locker.
I took him on his first night out in London.
Oh, go on.
Yeah,
where'd you go?
So I got told. I said, "Listen, like his agent come to me, goes, Coley, man, I need you to look after him. Like,
Brilliant.
Because Mascherano had his family here.
Yeah.
So he wasn't doing anything. He weren't going out.
Carlos on his own.
Yeah, but Carlos was on his own.
He had spread his wings, boy.
Yeah, so he goes, and I said, what's he like doing? He loves going to casino. So I took him to the casino. Then I said, what do you want to do afterwards? But it was weird because he don't speak English. So we were kind of telepathic.
Yeah.
So I said, me and you'll be good strike partners.
Love it.
Do you know what I mean? Because we don't have to talk. I say, casino? He goes, hey. Yeah. Then he goes, then we went to the next place. We went to, I can't remember what it's called. Embassy or something like that. Embassy back in the day.
Yeah, brilliant.
Took him to Embassy. Lost him.
Mark Fuller had that.
Yeah, Mark Fuller, yeah. I lost him in Embassy. So he was in there somewhere.
What do you mean you lost him? What, you just let...
No, so I was on the table. Then
you was grinding.
I was on the table.
I was doing the grinding.
He's grinding all day on the dance floor,
boy. I was in there, man. I was giving it. And then I've come back to the table. He'd gone. So I was like, oh my God, I've got to look after this one. I made signing. What have I done? You don't know London. You don't know how to speak English. Right. And he was fully all right. Then he got but I see him in the morning. He goes, oh, golly. He's buzzing for it.
Yeah. Good player though, right?
Great player.
Talk to me about his like way he used to train. Good trainer?
Not really. He bobbed it off.
And then turned up.
I'll tell you who was a good trainer, Mascherano.
At it. I heard that.
Like, see his pings, yeah?
Yeah.
You know when you can hear a ping when it's world class, when the sound of the ball when he hits it.
Fenners? I say the sound. Like, them little basic things you don't realise. You go, they do it different, like, and I don't really. And people go to me, "What do you mean you played like Premier League?" I said, "No. You got to realise there's more power. There's more power." And
have you seen Harry Kane video that's doing the rounds where he hits that fizzing pass?
Oh yeah, I've seen that. That's lovely when he's just off the floor like that.
It's just
it's world class. Like, there's certain people that can ping a ball, and he was one of them.
Yeah.
And I'd seen it before with Ruud Gullit at training one time, and I was like, so that's what I was comparing it to. I was like, I've seen this before.
I've heard. Don't see it a lot, but I've seen that before.
I've seen that before.
Don't see it a lot. He weren't bad.
I've seen this before, mate. So I was like, bloody hell. Because Ruud Gullit, I used to wash his boots. He gave me his boots one time. Mate, I destroyed them boots, man. I'm so pissed off about it. Because I didn't know that. I didn't know, because he gave me his boots, because I used to wash his boots. I used to do him and Dennis Wise. Yeah. And Ruud Gullit's boots, right? I used to wash his boots.
Well, they Lottos, weren't they?
Yeah, so no, but he was trying out these Nikes, Nikes, the brand new ones that just come out. I think it was like T90s, brand new, back in the day. Yeah. I don't know if they're T90s, Zoom Airs, that's what they were. And he gave them to me. But not knowing, I said, I'm going to wear these. So I started wearing them. I used to wear them down them like.
Did you thought you was gonna get that zing?
We used to have this. Yeah, I was thinking, this is gonna give me that super zing, that zinger burger. It's gonna give me that zinger burger that I need. But I put a hole in them and everything. I had to throw them away. So and I was like, I can't. I should have kept them. I could have put them in.
Big toes, calipers hanging out the end of them.
I messed them up so badly. Anyway, that's one of my biggest regrets.
What did you wear, boots wise? What were you?
At first, I was with Umbro.
Yeah.
Then I got
Specialis with it.
Yeah. You know, as a schoolboy, you get Umbro scholarship.
Yeah.
And then when I got my pro, I got Adidas.
Yeah.
Which
Adidas?
I got Preds at the start, and then I've done the campaign for Adidas F50 Plus.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, the first ones. Go on YouTube, you see it. It's flipping funny. It's like a documentary on my life on how I relate to the boots. It's like it's proper weird.
Class.
Yeah, but it's on YouTube now. Carlton Cole, Adidas F50.
Get on it.
Type it and get on it.
Get on it.
Don't get my views up.
They had like a sort of they had that like a sort of, they were like a cross between a Pred, weren't they, and a regular boot.
And then I done the campaign for so you had the F50 Tunips, I think they were called. Tunits. Yeah. Tunits, that's it. I've still got some in the box.
You could change the sole, couldn't you?
You could change the sole, yeah. Mate, it's unbelievable,
really?
Man. Technology, man, back then.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is going back. I can't remember them. I have to get a pair of them and have a little butchers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember yeah.
But yeah, as I was saying, so there's certain players that can ping a ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ping a ball, like, proper.
Had it with Bex.
And yeah, Bex is another one at England. I saw him ping a ball.
I was behind it. I was like,
mate,
what is that?
What is that? It's like a spaceship just taking off. It's unbelievable. The sound's different. The way it cuts through the air.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
How did you create that power then?
Yeah, it's mad.
We've had this chat here a bit, but I'm going to ask you, because when Jim talks about when he went into the England camp and like the he'd seen these players, and he knew that they were all like decent players. But he said he realised like got in the rondo and the levels and like how his game in that 2-week period improved. How was it for you going into your first England camp?
Yeah, it was weird. I've had Gary Neville skinned him. He was butthurt about it, and he tackled me from behind. I was like, oh, that's naughty.
Really?
Because it was my first day, I let him off.
Yeah.
I let him off.
I'll let you have that.
Because I was known for a little scrap back in the day. But nah, it was a welcoming tackle.
What was the reaction of like who was gaffer?
It was Capello.
All right.
But everyone just cracked on.
That.
Yeah, they ignore it, innit? But I don't know why he tried that.
And I suppose like you're also finely tuned that you know where the level is, yeah. So it's kind of like everyone on that pitch knows. That's naughty. If you're thinking it's naughty.
Yeah. So for me to think it's naughty, because I've had challenges, I get it, but I felt that was naughty. But at the same time, I did have a good, because I knew everyone in the squad already.
Yeah.
I'd already been up through the ranks. I played under 19s, under 20s, under 21s. Yeah. So the next level was the full England team.
Who was Classo in that? Who would you go in train? You go, oh wow.
Wayne Rooney, man.
It was just dynamite.
Oh, he's just it's diabolical, isn't he? Just
in a good way.
Just give me something. What like
the levels, man. Just like, because remember, I hadn't actually seen him because he missed our group when we was out under 21s.
Yeah. He moved on when he was about 12. He's shaved when he was 11. He just turned up like a full-grown man.
I've never come across him, so I was like, only on the field. So I was like, mate, like he is good, isn't he? Because I remember, I tell you what I remember. Yeah, I was with the under 20. I'd gone away with the under 21s, and I'd come back to Chelsea, and then obviously Wazza got called up. He's like missed out all our groups and got called up to the first team. I was like, damn, I've been working hard to get into there.
He's up skipping jump.
Like, this guy just got straight in. But I didn't know he was that good. Like I was thinking, because I was good at the time. I was thinking, I'll be all right. You know what I mean? I knew I was still a bit of an imposter, but I was thinking I've had a good run now, so I'm trying to get into that caliber. But then obviously because I'm training with the likes of Lamps, weekly, JT, so I'm thinking I could cut the mustard in that first team, and these are better players as well for England. But then they'd gone away and we come back, and then in the next training session, I said to JT, "Is it good? Is he that good? Wazza, is he actually that good?" He goes, "Oh, Coley, he's unbelievable."
Really?
In my heart, I was like, "Oh,
broken."
Coming from another top centre.
I was broken. I was like, I thought I was good, but so that was a nice humbling
when you
experience.
saw him, you saw him firsthand. What was it about him? Because you said it was like his pace and
power, and then his striking of the ball, doing free kicks afterwards, just whizzing it in. Like,
really,
he had a free kick as well.
Brain as well.
Yeah, and he's just like, you just couldn't get near him. And aggressive as well. It's just like, you just knew he was the real deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just could see it. Whether he was young or if he was old, you could see when a man touches the ball.
What is it? I don't understand. There's nothing you can put your finger on. It's just it is it. And it's like, wow.
Well, okay, this is a footballer. Amazing. This is what a footballer's supposed to look like.
But then it deflates you, don't it?
Yeah.
If it's like me, I'm like, oh no, like
I'm not that good.
Oh, I'm actually shit. But as a sportsman, that fucking hurts because you've had your own mindset, believe you can do it.
Yeah.
When you come up, we spoke about Aliens, our Alien series, right? And then you're like,
deflation.
Another level. Yeah, it is a bit deflated.
And the thing about it, it's all right to feel like that. Yeah. It's all right.
Yeah.
You got to deal with it.
Like a little kid. It's embarrassing, really.
It is.
You just go, take your hat off, and that's all you can do.
It's all you can do.
And try and learn from it and get around it and like just be in awe of it. It's just madness. It's just madness.
So yeah, when I saw that, I was like, okay, this is levels. Then you see Beckham as well. Then he could just hit it from anywhere. On the money.
I'm going in going, he's all right. He just hits long ranges.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, Pop Fest.
Yeah. Popsville,
mate. I'm going, oh my, like, it's just amazing.
It's just Popsville everywhere. Like, everyone can play. Everyone can play. Everyone can play. Don't matter. There ain't a weak link.
No, there ain't.
If anything, you're the weak link.
Mate, that's so true.
That's how I was feeling anyway.
Yeah.
So your standard has to rise anyway,
Yeah.
and then you bring that back to your club. Like you actually feel better. You come back, you think, I've got a bit. You ain't seen what I've seen, boys.
Yeah.
You ain't been at the level. You don't know. You don't know.
It wears off though, don't it?
Yeah, it does wear
When does it vanish to?
I don't know.
Oh, give me some of that back. And then you're in that shit again. Oh, mate, it's so well put. And I can so relate to that.
Yeah.
So good.
But it's brilliant. Like being around it, and then you're just grateful, innit, after a while.
Yeah.
And just seeing, like, you've seen proper players in the game.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it's like now for kids that's coming into the first team of England, because they get drafted in quite early. We went in, I think, on merit, which I think is better to go in, not just because you're young and you've got potential to be this. No, we went in on merit. We had to be performing at least two good years in a row, 3 good years in a row, and bring something to the table.
And I think with a lot of games, a lot of friendlies, like Nations League game, I know they're sort of competitive games, but it's like, it's now the norm to like kind of give everyone a bit of a chance in it. If someone's had a reasonable game, you know, or a couple of decent games.
And it's brilliant for the kids. It's brilliant. Listen, I'd love to have been in this era where I'll get a chance because I'm doing well for my club. And it might have been easier. I might have got it younger. You know, I'd have loved that.
Do you think the game's moved on since, you know, like you started playing and finished playing? So I say to Jim, if Jim was playing now and he went in peak Bullard, he'd absolutely be flying and he would be smashing it because the Premier League now is so suited to the technical player.
Yeah. You know, it's a hard question because I think nowadays you've got to be an athlete. You've got to be a proper athlete nowadays. Like, you've got to be able to run forever. Yeah. You have to have a proper engine.
Right.
The technical part of it, that could be, because everything's being coached, there's better coaches nowadays. If you're a footballer and you've got talent for football, you would actually adapt to this day and age, you know?
Yeah.
But if you're telling me, I was modelled on what was needed for that era.
Yeah.
You know? So if I was going to say, take that era and put it into this era, it probably wouldn't work because I'll always be offside, I'll always be there'll always be a foul, free kick, whatever. But my era, that's what was needed for that era. But I was still a footballer.
Of course you were, yeah.
And I got coached to be that way. So that's how I had to be. If I was to take my same like ability and the way I want to learn and how I want to get better and put into this era, I'll be able to do what they do now. It's as simple as that. Yeah. I'll just have to be a lot fitter.
Yeah.
Because that's what would be required.
That's a good answer.
So you can't put one era into another one. I don't think it's fair. No. But you can sometimes see someone from the old era that would say, well, he could play, the style of play that he played there could probably fit in now because it just looks the same kind of thing. Yeah. So like Jimmy, you could probably play in this era. You know, my style probably wouldn't be needed in this era.
But you would be a different player in this area. But I'd be a different player. I'd have adapted to play in this style because I'd have been coached different. You know, so it's just totally different now. It's an excellent answer.
It is very good.
Really good.
I loved it.
I'm just saying, like, because there's a lot of people that will say, "Oh, you'll never be able to play." Of course you would. You're a footballer. That's what we were growing up. It's just that we knew how to play. We got a talent. We knew how to adapt and play. Because I changed my game. I changed from being, as I said, I went in as a centre midfielder. I went centre back. Then I went up front. So I was a footballer. So you'll be able to adapt. I wasn't limited until I got older to see how limited I was because you're applying your trade against the best. But limited as in coming through the youth and learning in that way, I weren't limited. I could do a lot.
I love it.
Who was your toughest opponent that you came up against, like centre halves who you got no joy from?
I used to hate playing against someone like a Rio because they used to read the game. It just used to read. It wasn't like he was tough or anything like that. He just read the game better than everyone else. I prefer playing against Vidic,
right?
Because he'd love a little tussle.
You like that?
I feel him.
Yeah.
I see. I might be able to roll him. I know where he is. Could hear him breathe him down my neck. Whereas Rio was a bit more sneaky, a bit more savvy, ghost. Yeah. You don't even know when he's coming. And the worst thing for a striker, when you got your back to goal, and and then the ball's coming to you, and then the defender cuts in and nicks in front of you. That's the worst thing. Yeah. And it makes you, it devalues you. Like thinking, he's shit. Cole coming out the ball. Like, how's he letting him nick the ball in front of him? Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's what people remember. So I had to always change my game. So I've always looking over my shoulder, but that takes away from what I actually want to do.
Right.
So you just had to adapt a little. So he was a really hard customer to play against, definitely.
Yeah. Any centre halves you had on toast you love playing against?
Anyone that used to play for Fulham.
What, you just used to...
I used to score all the time against Fulham. Cottage, yeah? I used to love playing against Fulham. Really? I don't know why. Maybe it's a Chelsea in me.
Yeah.
But Fulham, I always...
Probably Kings Road night out afterwards.
That's
give you a little bit of vibe.
You alluded to it before. They said you're on about the Gary Neville stuff. You said you were a bit of a scrapper. Like
I wasn't a scrapper,
but I wouldn't see that in your personality at all. In terms of like,
no, I had to check. Look, when you cross that line, the white line, you gotta. I always say to these kids now, I say, mate, you could be a lovely person off the field, but you gotta have dual personality. Really, you gotta have a different personality on the field. You can't be the same person. You're going. It's like theatre. It's theatre. When you go onto that pitch, people will come to watch you perform. It's like theatre, so you got to act.
What character are you?
You got to be a different character. Yeah. And your character has to mould into what your team's ethos is. And on top of that, your character has to play up to the crowd as well. So sometimes, you're a showman. We're showmen at the end of the day, but we've all got our different personalities. But when you're off the field, it's totally different. That's when you want a bit of calm, chill, do what you want to do and be a nice person. But on the field, you could be as nasty as you want, really.
Did you work with... Am I right? I think you did some work with Dan Abraham, the sports psychologist. Yeah, I did. Did he help you with that?
Yeah, so Dan actually helped me differentiate the two.
Right.
So I had to be a certain way on the field. I can't be a nice guy on the field. Oh yeah, take the ball if you want. Go on, mate. I don't mind. You got to fight for what you want on the field. And he kind of fine-tuned me into realising what was what. We've done a load of visualisation, which I thought was good. So when I go to bed, I'll visualise exactly what I'm doing. He used to give me these clips and everything to watch as well. And when I used to go to sleep as well, he used to give me these things to listen to.
Really? What were they? What was it?
Because it's like programming you.
Yeah, pre-programming.
Pre-programming you before the game, and what you.
They like scenarios that you might come into.
Not just scenarios, just like in general, like thinking positively.
Wow.
And just being that a positive thinker, basically, and not worrying about the things that can go wrong. Right. Just go for the things that are going to be going right, and how you visualise it. Yeah.
Did you get field benefit from that?
Oh yeah, I got into the England team.
Yeah.
I got into the England team, and I was doing other work with somebody else on my body as well. And it's the same person that used to work with DJ Drogba, Malouda at the time. Yeah. A few other big players. David Luiz as well, worked with him.
Not bad.
Solomon Kalou.
Wow.
And there's some French players that used to work with in France. So I used him as well, and got me to the next level, man. Got me to the next level.
Was that building your body up, like power, core strength?
Just body memory as well. That's like certain things movements in the game that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that you might need, or your type of player might need. Your body will just do it without even thinking, and you wouldn't even think about it. Do you know what I mean? It's just it's fine tuning. It's what the elite do. I know I was talked about this on my pod with the lads. I just said, listen, everyone was doing their thing away from the pitch as well to be optimum capacity on the pitch. You know, so whether it's psychology, whether it's doing stuff with your body, you had to be better than the next person.
It's interesting you say that. I wasn't around the elitists like Drogs. I think that could have been the main difference, you know.
Yeah.
We didn't really go away and do our own thing. What we'd done was really in a club. But I hear that of JT. A lot of them went home and had their own psych, or even their own masseur if you want. We didn't have that. They'd have their own. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They would put a lot of money into their self.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. It's mad.
Well, that's what they do in basketball, NFL, all of that.
Yeah.
When they travel, like in basketball and NFL, they've got their own people that travel with them. Like on the plane with the team, their own person that they've actually sourced out.
Right.
That because everyone's different, so there might be a really good guy that I'd say that's psychologically does everything and works on your body as well, but that person might not suit your personality.
Yeah.
So you got to go and figure out who's the best guy for you, you know? And I think that's the most important stuff. You got to be really comfortable with the person that you're dealing with, and so they can get you to the next level. Otherwise, everyone just thinks, just go with that guy. He's good. He was good for me. Well, it might not be good for you.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Personally. So you got to go and find your own person, source them out. That's the investment in yourself.
Absolutely. Good for young kids to hear that.
Yeah.
Invest in yourself, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, you got to invest in yourself.
I was around Championship. Yeah, I made it in the Premier League, but it was like, that is the next step, without a shadow of a doubt. And that happened back then, right?
Yeah, that was happening back then, but no one talked about it.
No.
Everyone just cracked on. There even might be a person with spiritual guidance that's there.
Yeah. No, I get it all.
There's loads of it going on, you know? So it was just up to you as a person to source it out yourself. If that's what you felt you needed, or you saw someone else who said, I fancy that. But if you wasn't exposed to it, you wouldn't know.
But you're exposed to the elites. That's what the elites bring to the table.
It's mad, isn't it? Anything to get you to your peak level for that 90 minutes. Because you could be the best. You could be the best in the world. You could be at training, couldn't you? You could be smashing goals in for fun. You could be like fit as a fiddle. You could be like, you know, but if you at 3 o'clock, if you don't do it in that 90 minutes, it's all kind of like irrelevant, isn't it? And that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Getting it, all that stuff and bringing
it together in that 90 minutes.
When that whistle goes.
Yeah.
Just in the moment, what matters.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. This should be called the elite. This is gone down
good,
the path I never knew it'd go down.
Oh mate, we're deep, man.
I mean,
Yeah,
when
that
we're
is
deep. We could do the joke thing. We could go serious.
Yeah,
whatever you
yeah.
want.
when we were doing all the grind stuff earlier, I thought, we're going to need to wrap this up pretty sharpish, mate.
Wow, that's
We're going to be
We
in
could
from
do
Ofcom,
everything,
but
mate.
it's just, mate.
We're
love
open
it.
to it.
This episode of FC Bullard is brought to you by Sky Bet in partnership with the British Art Foundation.
Jim, you were known as a marathon man in your playing days.
Yeah, Arsene Wenger called me that once. Why's that?
Well, I think you should get involved with the Sky Bet EFL Every Minute Matters Relay.
Oh yeah, I saw this. Do you want to tell our wonderful fans what it's about?
Yeah, it's a nationwide charity event all about inspiring fans across the nation to learn CPR.
Absolutely, it's a great cause. Tell me more, Fenners.
Spanning 4 weeks, the relay will consist of 2 simultaneous 2,000-kilometre routes. Do you know where they begin, Jim?
I know this. Is it Barrow and Plymouth?
Correct. Both opposite ends of the country. Where does this relay finish, Jim?
Easy. At the home of football, Wembley Stadium.
Correct again, Jim. The tour will take in every EFL club, with people running, walking or cycling to complete the relay. It all kicks off on March the 25th.
That's 72 clubs, 72 legs, some effort that.
Sky Bet are aiming to get 270,000 football fans trained in life-saving CPR by the time this season's playoffs arrive.
So John Boy, how can we get involved?
If you haven't already, we're calling on you, the FC Bullard faithful, to get behind your club and donate just 15 minutes of your time to learn CPR.
So get involved by searching the British Heart Foundation's online tool, which is
Reviver. That's REVIVR for more information. It only takes 15 minutes. What are you waiting for? Sky Bet, in partnership with the British Heart Foundation, 18 plus, begambleaware.org. So what we need to do now is we need to get you on loan to be a loaned and pathway.
Oh, yeah.
So that's
I like that.
That's
I like
what we're going to do.
all right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's do it then. He's
We'd
in.
like
Would
to
that,
offer you the role if you'd like to come on board.
I'm there for you.
Oh,
there.
I love it, Cole.
Pending, T's and C's and
Oh, well,
stuff
just
like
see how
that,
it goes.
mate.
If you let's see how the season finishes, and then I'll be there for you
We
next
haven't
year.
played the game yet, but the games will be coming in
They will
soon
be
in
coming
the
in
summer.
thick and fast.
Don't worry, you'll be getting a phone call. Coley, where can you help me out?
Yeah, I can help you.
Need
I
a
can
couple
get
of young
some
boys down here.
Yeah, I could get a couple of lads
Yeah,
in.
I love it,
I've got the
Coley.
connections.
Coley, it's been
Top man.
class, mate. Thank you so much.
Right, we're going to Embassy, yeah?
Hey,
Straight to Embassy, Mark Fuller.
Fuller, where are
VIP package, son, on the way.
Go get a grind on.
Get the grinding on.
I loved it.
That was class, wasn't it?
Loved it, Fenners.
Very smart.
Yeah, didn't he look the boy?
Yeah.
Hey?
Don't think he's going to have many winners at Cheltenham, though.
No. How many jobs he got?
No, mate, he's got... I tell you what, he has got... Yeah, he's got too many jobs.
Loved it, though. Nice warm
Yeah,
one, weren't it?
lovely.
Brilliant.
Lovely.
Hope you enjoyed it as well. Like, subscribe, follow. Do it now.